everybody, welcome back to Jackalopes Fire TV. I'm Chuck, that's Cilla, and yeah, that's it. Alright, have a nice day.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Shortest one ever.
Woohoo! No, we actually do have stuff to talk about today. So, as I think everybody in the free world knows, and maybe the unfree world too, I was boycotting DC Comics for a very long time.
You were?
I was.
I wasn't paying any attention, obviously.
Obviously. You don't know how you missed that one. I've started reading one of their books again. I tried to read Red Lantern. Really did try because I like the concept. But it just can't.
I don't even like the concept. I don't like the concept of so many different Lantern groups.
Oh, I love it.
And I realize that it's supposed to be covering that emotional spectrum, but, you know, for 50 fucking years we had one. Well, two, because you had Sinestro's Yellow Ring. But we didn't even know that there was a reason for that. Yeah, there wasn't a core. It was just Sinestro had a yellow ring, and it was just made by the engineers on Cord and all that crap. Just having the Green Lanterns was plenty.
See, I love the different cores. I wish they would flesh them out a little more because, like, we don't know much about the Indigo Tribe. We don't know much about the Orange Lanterns.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's why I'm so about it, because there is no information. We know so little. We know just enough to tell the story of the War of the Rings, basically.
Right.
And they've kept the story going for obviously the greens and the reds, and then you see the blues and the sapphires and the others every now and then.
Orange or Lar Freeze has had a book, I want to say. So we know a bit about Orange. Red Lantern, excuse me. Red Lantern has a book, and of course there's the Green Lantern books. I would love to see a Star Sapphire book. Yeah. But as you can tell by my ring and my necklace, I'm a huge Star Sapphire fan just because of the concept. But next to nothing is known about the Indigo Tribe, which drives me nuts. Because
and that was actually designed that way. Next to nothing was revealed early on. They had question marks next to everything. It's like, we don't know anything about these. And so Jeff did that intentionally. But yes, it's annoying. But it's never been fleshed out since. Right.
It never will be. It's one thing to introduce a concept like that and leave it mysterious for a while. But after a while, it gets annoying. Yeah. If you don't flesh it out at some point. So I think that, I'm not saying every core needs their own book, because that would be a little excessive too. But, you know, a book, you have all of the different Lantern Corps books, red, green, whatever. Bring the other colors in more enough to flesh out the cores so that there's more substance to them. Because I think it's a great concept. I don't think they've ever been fleshed out the way they need to.
Or why not do a monthly title that incorporates stories from all the cores, and, you know, I don't know what you'd call it, but like Tales of the Core. Like they do like these 3 issues are just about the Reds. These 4 are about Indigo. These 5 are about Blue, or whatever. Right. Just they do little miniature arcs every, you know, for a couple of months or for several months, and then once they're done with that arc, they go to another group and do an arc for them to give them their time to shine.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm not suggesting rotating every month. That would get out of control, because you would have those times where you have more to say than one book's going to cover, and you got to go to be continued eventually.
Right.
You know, so I just think that that would be a way to do that, instead of dedicating a book to a given core and still ignoring the others.
Right. Yeah. But I did try to read Red Lantern. I do like the concept. I may eventually go back to it. My problem is Supergirl's in it.
Yeah.
And
such a strange decision.
Tried really, really hard to accept Kara as a Red Lantern, because now that I'm not boycotting DC, I do want to read Supergirl again. I'm really trying. I'm trying to push aside my dislike for this version of Kara and read it with a fresh mind. I just couldn't do it. Really tried. So I kind of gave up on Red Lantern. My understanding is that she's coming to the Crossroads. Guy Gardner just sent her to see Hal Jordan to see if there was a way to get the red ring off her finger. And she's about to come to a crossroads where she decides whether she's going to be Red Lantern or Supergirl.
Which, obviously she'll be Supergirl.
She's going to be Supergirl. She was never... It was said from the get-go, Red Lantern was not forever.
Which is interesting, since most Red Lanterns are forever.
Right.
Isn't Guy a Red Lantern now?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But he can still put his green ring on, I understand.
See, things like that don't make sense.
So, there's a lot that doesn't make sense. And over the next few episodes, we're going to cover a lot of that. So... Once she's Supergirl again, I might give Red Lantern another chance once she's not in the Corps anymore.
Okay.
And kind of give it a second look once that happens. Because I can't handle Red Lantern Kara. It's too much for me. But I have been reading Batman Eternal. Which is interesting because it's a weekly comic as opposed to monthly. So... I'm just gonna flat out say it's laziness. I can't get to the comic store every week, so I ended up going to pick up books the other day. I had like 10 issues of it.
Okay, not getting there every week is different than not getting there every month. That's 2 months worth of books.
Yeah, I know. So I did. I took my stack of comic books. And I went home and I read them all.
Okay.
So I'm now...
Took you like 5 minutes.
No, it took me a good hour and a half or so. Because I had to reread some panels because this is still New 52 and some of it didn't make sense at first. I had to go back and sort of piece it together. So I'm caught up with the exception of this past week.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly where they're at, but I'm pretty much caught up. And here's my overall opinion of it. It's like any comic book, it does have its bad points. But it's got surprisingly some good points too.
Okay.
They have changed Stephanie Brown's origin slightly. It's still so far it's still been the same basic origin. She's not spoiler yet. She's still just Stephanie Brown. Obviously, we know she will eventually be spoiler. So far, we've just kind of met her as this girl that's, and no pun intended, but if you haven't read it, spoiler alert. So we just meet her as this teenage girl who happens to accidentally stumble on her father, Cluemaster, planning
his latest heist.
Latest stuff with his group of villains. And now he has to kill her. He wants... and that's a little darker than pre-New 52 Cluemaster. Because Arthur before... He was always a criminal, and Stephanie was never a priority. But that version of Arthur never would have tried to kill Stephanie. This one basically has a hit on her. And then we find out that Stephanie's mom is in on it, too. Which is a total switch from pre-New 52. Pre-New 52 version of Crystal Brown. So Stephanie has both her parents out trying to kill her right now, and she's just trying to figure out what to do. Obviously, this is somehow going to lead her to deciding to become a costume vigilante.
she ain't got nothing else going on for her. I mean, both her parents are trying to kill her. She can't exactly go home for the evening.
No, she can't.
She might as well walk the streets, and it's either be a streetwalker, okay, or, costume vigilante. Perfect sets, it's one or the other. You can't, there is no middle ground here.
This is true.
You can't just be a normal fucking teenager.
Right. So...
The story would be boring.
So I like where they're going with Stephanie, which I have to say, I'm shocked. I expected by this point they would have already pissed me off. She's not a hero yet. I'm still not convinced that it's all going to be okay. But I'm pleasantly surprised thus far.
Okay.
Other aspects of the book I like. They had a great interaction between Jason and Barbara. Red Hood had to go hunt Batgirl down in South America. That was, much as I don't like Barbara as Batgirl, that was actually an interesting exchange. You don't see those two characters interact very often, so it was nice. I liked... Let's see, what else did I like? I like the characterization of Tim in the far as the way he's written. I don't like some of his interactions. We're seeing a darker Tim right now, which makes sense because he's lost two brothers, or he thinks he's lost two brothers. Because Damien's dead, and now everybody but Bruce thinks that Dick is dead. And let's face it, Tim and Jay have never been all that close. So Tim's pretty much blaming Bruce for the death of his brothers. And it's caused a little strain in that relationship. And that just aggravates me because Bruce knows that Dick's not dead. Mm-hmm. The fact that they're letting the world think that Dick is dead to make him a super spy, I still find to be retarded. But this is DC we're talking about.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Don't like that. Don't like the new character that they've introduced. Harper, and I forget her last name. We know from Batman 23 that she will eventually end up being Bluebird and be a sidekick of sorts to Batman. She's the one that ends up using a gun, and Bruce just is okay with this. I am not okay with this. I also don't see the point of introducing Harper. I was actually talking to my friend Jill about this yesterday. DC is missing two very good opportunities here. Being DC, I'm not shocked, but here's what they're missing. One, why introduce Harper as another character? When you already pre-New 52 had the character of Sasha, who was Scarlet, a Red Hood's sidekick, and who basically has the same origin as Harper, right down to dealing with the Professor Pig, because Professor Pig is one of the main villains in the storyline. He was also the main villain that brought Sasha into the fold. So you're pretty much mirroring the story with some changes. Great opportunity to reintroduce Sasha into the universe, and instead you're introducing this new character that nobody knows or cares about.
Maybe that's the point. They didn't like Sasha, so she's just gone.
Also, they have a great opportunity, and they may be going this route, I don't know, because we're still only at issue 14 or whatever. So this could still happen. I think it needs to. We have Carmine Falcone back. Perfect time. Oh, and Selina's finally acknowledged him as a father. Perfect opportunity to reintroduce Katrina Falcone as Catgirl. Give Selina her sister as her sidekick. Awesome opportunity. Haven't gone there yet. Hope to see it. Don't expect to. Because, again, this is DC.
Right. Yeah, let's not hold our breath.
So, those are my main issues with the book. And Alfred's daughter, which Alfred has a daughter that hates him. And I don't see a purpose for her in the story yet.
Drama.
I know some readers hate her. I'm right now, I'm neutral on her. I don't care about her one way or the other. I just find her as a pointless character. So I have no feelings on her either way. So, all in all, if you're wanting to read DC characters, I would say Batman Eternal is probably your best bet right now, especially if you like the Batman family. It's from what I've seen, the best put together book of New 52 so far. Not holding my breath for it to say that way because I've seen Batman 23, so we know where this is leading to, and I wasn't happy with that issue. So with every issue of Batman Eternal, I'm waiting for it to fall apart.
They may retcon 23.
They might.
So
and we'll see what happens. So there's my review.
All right. So don't read it?
If you like the Batman family, it's a good read.
Oh, okay.
I actually meant to bring my issues to you to see if you wanted to read it. You might actually enjoy it.
I've got enough issues of my own. I don't need yours.
Now, speaking on something that I'm also skeptical about, Doctor Who's coming back next month.
Yeah. What do you mean you're skeptical?
New Doctor, same writer.
Okay, whatever. Whatever. I can't. No, I just can't. I can't talk to you.
I'm sorry. I have not been impressed with his run behind the reins of Doctor Who. I just haven't. I like the casting of the new Doctor from what I've seen. I don't like the writing that we've seen. I think it was to the detriment of the last Doctor. I think that Matt Smith was a lot better than he was allowed the opportunity to be. I don't want to see the same thing happen to this Doctor.
I've only just now noticed how fascinating this window is. You are high. You have got to quit smoking crack before you start doing these things.
I'm serious.
Matt Smith did a great job, yes.
With what he was given.
I will not even qualify it. I think it was a great job. I liked most of the storyline threads, the overarching story. I think that Rory and Amy's story dragged on a little bit. I think that it was past time for them to go when they left.
I will definitely agree with that.
So I think that they held on to them a little bit too long. But other than that, for the most part, I actually liked what Steven did with 11. And I'm looking forward to Capaldi's run.
I think he has the potential to be a good Doctor.
And I love this new companion.
I do too.
Clara is great.
And I've said before, she's my favorite companion since Rose, which is saying quite a bit.
Yeah. It took me a minute to warm up to her because I did love Amy so much. See, that's the problem with Amy and Rory. It's Rory. I love Amy. Amelia Pond was fantastic. Karen is fantastic. Rory is shit. He was a bit character that should have stayed bit. He should have stayed bit just like Mickey did. Mickey showed up for like 3 episodes. He was important, and it was over.
Tin Dog.
That's what it should have been for Rory. He should have been the new Tin Dog, and that didn't happen.
No.
He became a full-blown important part of the story.
He was her husband.
Well, I understand that he's her husband, but he's not important. The Doctor and Amy. That's what was important there, and that got overshadowed by them putting too much importance on Rory and Amy. They should not have had Amy getting married in the middle of her run. Once she got married, she should have been settling down and leaving the Doctor behind. That should have been the end of their run. So what should have happened is that first season was leading up to the wedding, and something happened to delay the wedding or whatever. And then the next season, at the end of that season, they get married. She's done. And then a new companion.
Yeah, but without Rory, you don't have River, and we all know how important River was.
I understand that. And I think that that's why they let that story drag out, because they were trying to tell River's story subtly. instead of just throwing everything at us at once, and that's fine. I get that.
Which may have been one of my issues with it. You know how I feel about River.
I know you don't like River Song, and I think River Song is a fantastic character with some minor flaws. I love it. I really do. And my favorite part about River's story was her final appearance as the ghost in the machine, as it were. And she finally gets to say, "Goodbye, sweetie," instead of "Hello, sweetie." That's one of my favorite, most poignant moments of her story. It's fantastic. They did a great job with it.
See, I didn't
it dragged out a bit.
I never liked her from her first appearance in the library. So, from the
really? And maybe it's just because I love Alex. Alex Kingston's a great actress. So maybe I just naturally enjoyed her performance because I like her.
I disliked River so much that when that actress showed up on Arrow as Dinah, it took me a little bit to not dislike Dinah. Now, I will say, after her second appearance on Arrow, I warmed up to the character of Dinah. And she's okay on Arrow now. But I really disliked her as River.
Well, each to their own. Everybody's got their own opinions. And while I tease you, I respect that you have your opinion. Now,
the point I'm getting at here that we've completely gone away from is that Doctor Who's coming back next month.
That's right. On August 23rd.
Mm-hmm. And it will be airing on BBC America at, I want to say, 8 o'clock Central. It could be 8 o'clock Eastern.
I think it's 7 o'clock Central.
Okay.
It has been in years past.
All right. So that's probably, bless you, it's probably 8 Eastern, 7 Central, but check your local listings. But it will be on BBC America on the 23rd.
Yes.
So, it'll be our first... Bless you.
Damn it.
Welcome to Austin. So, it will be our first real look at the new Doctor, because we saw a glimpse of him. But, yeah. Literally, a glimpse.
Well, we saw in the anniversary issue, we see his eyes. Mm-hmm. And then in the final episode of Matt's run, we see him actually regenerate.
For a moment.
Yeah.
So this will be our first real look at Capaldi as the Doctor. And bless you. Good grief.
It's that time of morning. I always do this.
And I'm looking very forward to that part of it. Because I think he's going to be a great Doctor. I think he and Clara are going to have good chemistry.
I think so, too.
So, I'm looking forward to it. And we'll definitely have a review on that when it happens. And once it airs, we'll have full discussion about it then. Just wanted to mention that it is coming up.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it.
Now, bless you, Mr. McSneezy.
Grief.
Now, moving on, one last thing that I do want to get to today is there's a new creative team on Wonder Woman. Now, first of all, I don't read Wonder Woman. I never have read Wonder Woman, and I know that you're not supposed to ever say never, but...
You doubt you ever will.
I really highly doubt I'll ever read Wonder Woman. I've never been a huge fan of the character.
Just keep going. I'm just going to sit here and sneeze.
That said, I do feel that's important to discuss the controversy surrounding her new creative team, which I actually kind of see the point of. And once again, Didio did nothing to help. I'm not surprised. So, there's a new creative team on Wonder Woman. It's a writer that has never had a major comic book before. She's basically new. She's done some stuff with, what's it, Xenoscope? Whatever. Zenoscope. But that's really it.
Damn it.
The idea behind this is she's going to add some humanity to Wonder Woman. They're going to try to get away from the Amazon aspect of it and deal with her more, try to humanize her, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I'm not a fan of the character though, but that's how I like my superheroes. If I was going to read Wonder Woman, I would want to read a Wonder Woman that was in a city trying to adjust to life in man's world, as Diana would put it, as opposed to reading about her on Paradise Island. So, that said, I don't have an issue with that. Some fans do.
Right.
Some fans have a very big issue with that. I think, though, Meredith Finch is her name. And I think the biggest issue that people have with her is the fact that she's getting a big book and has very little experience to warrant it. Wonder Woman is one of DC's big three. It should be an established writer, they feel. And this is a new writer.
You know what? Fuck those people. I didn't realize that that's what the controversy was. I was waiting for you to reveal what it was. So what? Basically,
some of it has to do with the direction they're taking her.
Okay,
that's part of it. I disagree with that aspect of it, but that's just because of the type of heroes I like. For a Wonder Woman fan, that may be a perfectly legitimate reason to dislike it. I don't know enough about Diana to comment on that. Mm-hmm. Maybe she should be written as an Amazon as opposed to an Amazon trying to adjust to man's land. I don't know. But a lot of it has to do with her being a new writer.
And she's never going to be an established writer if people keep putting her down like that.
I think the idea was she should have a smaller book first. Give her Batgirl or something.
She's done smaller books. She worked for a different publishing company that's, while not huge, has a very loyal following, including myself. And I didn't realize that's who it was. Now that I've seen it, I actually know. I know that they're writing, and it's fine. She's perfectly capable of writing a good book. And just because she's never been given the opportunity at a major title doesn't mean she should never get the opportunity at a major title.
Right.
She has paid her dues already.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing. From a character standpoint, you know a little bit more about Diana than me. Do you think it's a mistake to try to bring humanity to the character?
No, it's not. It's never a mistake. It's no more a mistake to do that than it was to make Clark the central focus of Superman's personality, as opposed to strange visitor from another planet Kal-El. It's about Clark, who grew up on Earth and is, for all intents and purposes, human in the way he acts and thinks. Mm-hmm. That was one of the major changes they made when Crisis hit back in the 80s. And it did nothing but improve the entire scope of Superman and his established surroundings. Metropolis, Lex, Lois. It bled out into everybody, and it was awesome. It made it into what it became. Obviously, that's gone. Fuck you, DC. But humanizing an alien, and that's essentially what she is. She is an alien. She grew up in a completely different culture and environment, and she's having to adjust to a new one. That makes her an alien in that culture.
I agree.
And humanizing her and showing how she's adjusting and the struggles to adjust while being a hero, it makes for good storytelling.
I agree, and I think that if we ever want to see a good Wonder Woman movie, TV show, whatever, we need that type of Diana, because that's how you get supporting characters.
Yeah.
And you have to
It's also how people relate to the character.
Right. Because Lois and Clark aren't even together in the books anymore, but Lois is still a central character in the Superman films, because you have to have that cast of supporting characters for the hero. Diana doesn't have that right now. There's Steve Trevor?
Steve Trevor, yeah.
That's the only character that I can connect to her, and I don't think he's even being utilized.
Yeah, since I don't follow the book currently, I have no idea what they've done with Steve in the New 52. But
that's a great route to go. Take her to Man's Land, give her a love interest, give her a best friend, make Diana Prince an identity again.
Yeah. that is essentially the when it comes to Wonder Woman, you have two supporting characters, realistically. Well, three. Because you have Steve, who is her connection to Man's World. He's how she ends up in Man's World in the first place. You have Hippolyta, who is her mother. Mm-hmm. And you had oh, crap.
Donna?
Donna, thank you. My brain went boop. We had Donna. That was her big three. That was it.
And now there's Cassie as Wonder Girl.
But they never really made a connection, from what I understood. Yeah. I mean, she was still Wonder Girl. There is a connection, although it's to Hades. But
my point now, Ares.
Sorry.
But now
I knew it sounded wrong when I said it.
But my point is that we have Cassie as Wonder Girl now. She's only being utilized in Teen Titans. It's another good opportunity to bring her over to the Wonder Woman books.
Sure.
Have Cassie help Diana find her humanity.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential there. And honestly, I can say that would be one of the few ways that I might pick up a Wonder Woman book. Throw in Cassie and do some interaction between Cassie and Diana, flesh them both out a little bit. Mm-hmm. I might actually be interested in reading that. So, because I see what they've done with Kara and the direction, and I know what switching directions with a new writer can do to a character. I understand the Wonder Woman fans being upset. I think this is one of those things where instead of getting outraged right away, you need to stop and wait and see.
Yeah, why not wait and see if it gets fucked up and then get outraged?
Right. And there's people saying, I see the train wreck coming, they're going to lose sales. Well, maybe. And it may be a train wreck. My advice to the Wonder Woman fans is to handle Wonder Woman like I'm handling Batman Eternal. Keep reading. Be skeptical so that you're not shocked because it's still DC. Mm-hmm. But read it with an open mind and hope for the best.
If you don't like it, stop paying for it.
Exactly. And then complain about it.
That's right. Absolutely.
Once you stop paying for it, feel free to complain. If you're still buying it, I don't want to hear it.
That's right. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Because you're just perpetuating the problem.
So, I think this particular controversy is blown up too much too fast.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to take a step back and give her a chance. Because quite honestly, we need more female writers. Batgirl has just lost Gail Simone. So having another woman behind a major female hero is a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a bad thing.
It could be a bad thing.
The idea is a good idea.
In principle, it's a good idea. Give her a chance.
Yeah, let's see what happens. And that's the nice thing about hiring a, for lack of a better term, an unestablished writer. The nice thing there is that they're not set in their ways yet. They're not locked into a certain writing style that everybody's going to have to just accept. She can adapt and fit what the company and the readers want. Mm-hmm. Well, now that's going to be hard to do, but still, she has that.
She can
option.
do what the company wants.
Yeah.
Let's face it, you end up doing what Didio wants.
That's true.
Now, I do have to take a moment, very brief moment. What assisted in fueling this outrage and what helped it blow up so much, so fast, was Mr. Didio himself.
Opened his mouth, did he?
Well, his Twitter account, but yes. Made a comment about the three creative teams behind Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and then made the comment, the big three never looked so good. Which...
That's a slap in the face to all that came before.
Exactly.
Including some major names over the years. Mm-hmm. That's not cool.
So, thank you, Mr. Didio, for making the controversy way bigger than it probably would have been otherwise.
Idiot. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
But this is just further proof that Didio is an idiot that should not be sitting in the chair behind DC. So
you're right.
that's all I got for today. And you got anything else?
No, don't forget to watch Doctor Who August 23rd. If you're not already watching it, get caught up.
Netflix does have all the past seasons.
Most of it. Up until the war. So the last thing that Netflix has is the final episode of season 7 or 8, whatever it is. They don't have the 40th anniversary, and they don't have the Christmas episode where Matt regenerated.
Okay.
So they're missing 2 episodes.
And those you can get probably on Hulu or Amazon.
Yeah.
So they're out there.
You can definitely get them on Amazon, but they cost money through Amazon. So
I think if you're a Prime member, you can watch Doctor Who for free, can't you? Isn't that one of their Prime?
You can watch quite a few of them if you're a Prime member for free.
The Peanut Gallery says we can watch quite a few of them for free if you're a Prime member.
Yeah. So they're out there if you need to catch up on Doctor Who. And again, August 23rd is when it returns BBC America.
That's right. That's a Saturday, by the way.
Yes.
It's always a Saturday.
I also want to remind everyone to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You can go to jackalopesofire.com and find all of the links there. And that's it.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching JoF TV.
I'm going to go take some Zyrtec.
Good idea.
Bye, everybody.